Texas is headed to the Big 12 title game. This game was played on Friday, where they throttled Texas Tech. Final score was 57-7. Don't have a ton to break down within the game. I mean, as a whole, there's a couple of things to look at, but dominance is dominance, so we'll talk about that a little bit. But what I want to do is really zoom out and take a look at what Texas is right now and where they've come from to get to this point and differentiating factors as to why they are what they are now, which is a team that's about to play for a Big 12 title. So we'll talk about that here in a second. First things first, though, Texas fans, had a lot of y'all subscribe to the channel and be a part of this. We appreciate y'all so much. If you have not yet subscribed, would encourage you to do so. Also, make sure you're following me on Instagram and on Twitter at JDPakel. So, what is the overall feel leaving this game? For me, it's like Texas is for real. And we've known that for some time that they're for real. What I mean for real, I mean the culture, I mean the roster, I mean the way they're built. It's rock solid. Okay, because there was a couple of times where we saw Texas on the ropes against teams that you would like to see them not on the ropes against, like a TCU, like a Houston. And the focus for this game, going into the Texas Tech game, and Steve Sarkisian said this, was not to be tight, not to be anxious, because they were going into a game where they had a chance to really kind of stamp their ticket, punch their ticket to the Big 12 title game and keep their college football playoff hopes intact. And obviously winning the Big 12 before they threw up the deuces and left the conference was a major preseason goal. And when all that's in front of you, whenever you have those last couple of steps on the tightrope, there's a chance for the heart rate to speed up, for you to get nervous. And in this situation, by nature of the final score, Texas was not nervous. And I think a big part of that is Quinn Ewers. He is so in control of this offense. It wasn't gaudy numbers. I mean, he was 17 for 26, 196 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. When you run for over 300 yards on the ground, your quarterback stat line can look like that. But it just feels like when he's out there operating the offense, and we've seen that now by nature of him having not been on the field, they are a very different team, obviously, with him being their starting quarterback. But I just think the overall temperament of this team is different with him on the field. They seem more in control. They seem more relaxed. They seem more calm. And I think that's a direct result of Quinn Ewers and his persona. We say this, I mean, probably every single Sunday when we come in here and talk about what happened from the weekend before. Teams take on the persona of their leadership. Quinn Ewers, steady hand, even keel all the way through. And that was the case in this game. So like I said, I want to kind of zoom out and take a look at where Texas is at right now, because I think previously Texas was a logo, right? It was Hookem, it was McConaughey, it was burnt orange. It was that logo of the Longhorn that was very recognizable. But when you watch Texas play in previous years, it felt like that was all you were watching. You were just kind of watching the logo. Well, I think there's a difference between being a logo and then playing to a brand, because brands have standards. Brands have internal pieces that make them what they are. And Texas, at this point in time, I think their brand is tough. I think they're resilient. I think they're obviously talented, but they're battle-tested. Like Texas, by nature of what they've had to endure this season, they have had multiple weeks where we've sat here and said on a Tuesday or a Thursday or any number of our live shows during the week and just said, all right, new test for Texas. And they've had tests where it was, okay, big spot against Alabama. If you want to arrive, you got to have a signature kind of win against a team that's going to be a conference opponent here very soon. Texas, box checked. Okay, the next test. All right, now, you're not a secret anymore. Everyone knows what Texas is. Can you handle that kind of pressure? Handled it pretty well for the most part. Then they lose a game in front of everybody. College game day is there, Red River rivalry. You lose to Oklahoma, you don't play your best game. Okay, now for Texas, are they going to fall apart? Are the wheels going to come off the wagon a little bit? Steady hand. They keep on going. And then they lose their starting quarterback. This was the real test now. Okay, can you have other pieces within your team carry more when you have someone go down? They tread water, steady the ship, don't lose a game. And now here they are. And it feels like the thing that I was encouraged by for Texas was it wasn't a thing where they continued to limp once Quinn Ewers got back in the lineup. That TCU game didn't finish very well. But that Iowa State game last weekend and the Texas Tech game this past Friday, they are really catching their stride. And they're not just dominant, but again, going back to what I was just saying, they're battle-tested. And by nature of the different kind of tests they've had to meet throughout the year, That just shows me and tells me about Texas going forward now when they play these big-time games, when they get in these big-time spots, the Big 12 title game this upcoming weekend, and then if they have some things break their way and they do what they hope they can do and get into the college football playoff, they're not going to find themselves in a spot where the lights are ever too bright, where the moment's too big. Yes, because of Quinn Ewers, but also because of what they've had to endure without Quinn Ewers. And so I think for Texas as a whole, like I said at the top of this segment, it's real. There's no more questioning, is the Steve Sarkisian era, like, has it officially become his team? Have they become what they hoped they would be when they hired him? Like, I think you can say pretty confidently, yes. Yes, it is. Is it a finished product? No. But is it a flash in the pan? Is it a, one season wonder? No, it's for real. You've seen it with Quinn Ewers. You've seen it without Quinn Ewers. You saw it on Friday night. And I think we're going to see it in the Big 12 title game. Now, before the season started, we asked this question to y'all via my Twitter page, which you can follow me there at JD Pickell. I asked y'all, if Texas doesn't win the Big 12 title, is it a failure of a season? And it was pretty split. I believe the majority of y'all just slightly leaned towards no, it wouldn't be a failure. And I happen to agree with the slight majority there. Because what Texas was last year, really talented, they were 8-4. They were inconsistent. They were learning how to win, but they weren't playing to the level of their roster, and they hadn't necessarily arrived yet when it came to what they expected of that brand. Now, this year, they're sitting there with one loss, have earned the right to play for a Big 12 title, and whatever happens after this, I think you can say Texas had a successful season. Now, you can fail on the mission and not have the year be a failure. So I'm not here predicting that Texas is going to lose in the Big 12 title game. I'm just saying, I think regardless of what you do the rest of the way, if you're Texas, you can feel really confident about the future under Steve Sarkisian, and you can feel really, I think, proud of what you've done already this season. Like this season, by my estimation, it's a success. Now, you can make it even more of a success by checking the box that you had at the beginning of the year with making the college football playoff and winning the Big 12. But I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. Like, there is nothing about what Texas has done this year that is fluky, that is not something they can replicate going forward. Like, this is who they are now. This is for real. So the whole, is Texas back? Is Texas not back? Again, that's a conversation that folks with, the desire to generate clicks and things like that will try and sell you. I'm just saying, I don't know about back, but I know they're for real. And a big reason why is Steve Sarkisian and the way he's built it up. So we'll give you our pick now for the Big 12 title game on Tuesday. So live right here on the show, 11 a.m. Eastern. Make sure you're dialed in. We'll give you our pick for Texas, Oklahoma State. That's going to be a good one, man. And if you're Texas, it's a chance to finish the mission and really make this year a success. So appreciate y'all being tuned in. Again, make sure you're subscribed. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at JD Pickell. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.